I bought an SUV once that looked perfect on paper, glowing reviews, impressive numbers, a spec sheet that made me feel like I was walking away with a genuine bargain, so I signed the papers and felt good about myself for about 3 weeks. Then reality showed up. The fuel economy never matched the brochure. The little thing started to rattle. And every trip to the service department reminded me of one thing. The price on the window sticker is not the price you actually pay over the years. That SUV cost me thousands more than I ever planned. And it taught me a lesson I still use every single time I look at a new model. The numbers on paper are not the same as the experience in your driveway. So today I want to save you from the mistake I made. I am going to walk you through the 3 best SUVs you can buy in 2026. And one of them honestly sits in a league of its own. Before we get into the list, let me tell you how I judge these vehicles now, because it is very different from how I used to. Horsepower and touchscreens are easy to fall in love with in a showroom, but they are almost never what decides whether you actually enjoy owning a car. So I look at long-term dependability first, because nothing drains your wallet and your patience like a vehicle that keeps going back to the shop. Then I look at running costs, because fuel is money leaving your pocket every single week. After that comes comfort. Because you're going to spend hundreds of hours sitting inside this thing, I pay attention to safety, to resale value, and to what it truly costs to live with a car over 5 or 6 years, not just the sticker. And finally, I think about everyday practicality, like cargo space, and how easy the thing is to own. With all of that in mind, let me start with number 3. Number 3 on my list is the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, and it earns its place by doing something most rivals cannot. It gives you almost everything you want for thousands less. The first thing you notice is the styling. This is one of the boldest looking SUVs in the segment, and it looks far more expensive than it actually is. Step inside and that impression holds. You get a wide 12.3-inch touchscreen, a matching digital driver display on the higher trims, and a cabin that feels genuinely modern, not cheap, now the part that actually matters when you drive it. The hybrid system pairs a turbocharged engine with an electric motor for a combined 230 horsepower, and it is quick, smooth, and quiet in a way the old gas-only Tucson never was. All-wheel drive comes standard, which is rare at this price, and you can expect fuel economy somewhere in the high 30s depending on the trim. But here's the real headline. Hyundai covers the powertrain for 10 years, or 100,000 miles. That kind of protection changes how it feels to own a car. You stop worrying, and you just drive. So who's it for? If you want maximum value and standard all-wheel drive without paying a premium, the Tucson is hard to beat. It is not perfect. In normal driving, it tends to fall a few miles per gallon short of its official numbers. And the top trim climbs high enough that the value story starts to fade. It is an excellent SUV. But the next one improves on several key areas. Number 2 is the Honda CR-V Hybrid. And if the Tucson is about value, the CR-V is about getting almost everything right. More than half of CR-V buyers now choose the hybrid version, which tells you plenty. Where it pulls ahead is refinement. Drive both back-to-back on the highway, and within 5 minutes you will feel how much calmer the Honda is. The cabin is quieter, the materials feel a notch more upscale, and there is simply more room inside, both for passengers in the back and for whatever you are hauling behind them. The hybrid setup makes 204 horsepower, and while that looks modest on paper, the electric motor delivers its torque instantly. So around town, it feels punchy and effortless, not strained. Then there is the efficiency. The front-wheel drive versions can push past 40 miles per gallon combined. And on a single tank, the best ones travel well past 600 miles. That is the kind of range that turns a long trip into one easy stop, instead of 3. Its dependability record has been outstanding, and resale value stays strong. That is exactly what owning a car is supposed to feel like. So who should buy it? If you want the most refined, roomy, and easy-to-live-with package, and you will pay a little more than the Tucson to get it. The CR-V is a brilliant choice, so why did it narrowly miss the top spot? Because there is one SUV that does everything the Honda does, and then quietly does it a little better. And that brings us to number 1, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Toyota made one decision this year that completely changed this SUV, And in my opinion, it is what puts it in a league of its own. They dropped the gas-only engine entirely. Every single RAV4 you can buy now is a hybrid. And that one move quietly erases the biggest compromise buyers used to face. You no longer have to choose between the efficient version and the affordable version. They are the same car. But Toyota did not just chase efficiency, it chased both power and economy at once. The standard hybrid now produces over 220 horsepower, while delivering fuel economy that pushes into the mid-40 mile per gallon range. So you get more performance and lower running costs in the same breath. And if that is still not enough, the plug-in version offers more than 300 horsepower, along with enough electric range to handle most daily commutes without burning a drop of fuel. The redesign helps too. It looks bolder and more rugged now, almost like a smaller Land Cruiser, with a fresh cabin and Toyota's latest screens. But the real reason this SUV wins is the part you cannot see on a test drive. The RAV4 holds its value better than almost anything in this class. And the reputation for running hundreds of thousands of miles without drama is the whole reason people happily pay what they pay. That is not luck. That is decades of getting the boring things right. It is not flawless. Push it hard and the engine gets loud and a little buzzy. And losing the cheap gas model nudged the starting price up. But those are small complaints against everything you get in return. If you want the SUV that does the most things well, with the lowest cost over time and the strongest resale, this is the one. So let me put all three side by side, because the right answer really depends on what matters most to you. If your top priority is value, the Tucson gives you the most for your money, with that long warranty as a safety net. If you want the best family SUV, picture this. Load up 4 people and a weekend of luggage, and the CR-V's extra space and calmer rides suddenly become the thing you care about most. And for the lowest running costs and the strongest resale, the RAV4 takes it without much argument. There is no single winner for everyone here. There is only the right winner for you. And the trick is being honest about which of these things you will still care about 3 years from now, long after the showroom excitement has worn off. Which brings me back to where I started. I learned the hard way that buying an SUV based on marketing, on horsepower numbers, or on a spec sheet that looks great under the showroom lights is a recipe for regret. So think long term. Think about which of these you will actually enjoy living with. Not just the one that wins the bragging contest at the dealership. Because in the end, the experience in your driveway matters far more than the numbers on the brochure. The best SUV is not the one that impresses you during a test drive. It is the one that still makes you happy 5 years later. Now I would love to hear from you. Which of these 3 would you choose? And is there another SUV you think deserves a spot on this list? Let me know in the comments. And if this helped you out, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.